First, I would like to thank everybody who stood by me, because things were really, 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 really bad. So, for those who don't know, I had the flu and walking pneumonia, a bad sinus infection, and pretty much I was very close to, well, actually, it's not close. I had respiratory failure, is what they call it. Um, from February the 7th up until February the 24th, I was asleep. I was in a medically induced coma. Um, they had to paralyze me because in my coma dream, I was fighting so much. Now, let me say something to the people who don't understand. A coma is not like a regular dream. It's not. You're aware of things that are going on around you, but your mind is putting you in different places, if that makes sense. So, for example, I knew to a certain extent what was going on around me, but in my head, I thought I was still like moving around regular. So, for example, there was one point in time where I was in a sushi restaurant, but I'm stuck to a chair, right? And I hear somebody saying, one of the waitresses like, Terrell, just hang in there. Your mom's coming to see you. And I'm sitting in the chair and I piss myself. I'm trying to get up. I'm stuck to the chair. Then a doctor comes up and puts an IV in my arm. There's another situation where I'm in somebody's house and nurses are cleaning me up. And when if you don't know, when you're in intensive care, they put a thermometer in your butt. They violated my butt. So I really don't want to go into any two more details than that because I am dealing with some post-traumatic stress. But anyway, post-traumatic stress disorder, or whatever it's called, PTSD. So the procedure that saved my life was called ECMO. It's here, right here. It's a very dangerous procedure, and what happens is I had a tube in my neck and I had a tube in my groin, and what it does is it bypasses your heart. So basically, you essentially have a machine somewhat acting as your heart. So the blood was pumped out of my body. The blood was pumped out of my body into a machine to clean and then pump back in. Now, the issue with this machine, here you can read it right here. The issue with this machine is that it's very dangerous, and many people, or I should say few people, come out of this machine the same, and also you could die while you're on that machine. So I'm blessed to be alive because it was so bad that they said I was in my coma, that I was fighting to move and everything. So they had to essentially paralyze me. So not only was I in a coma, they had to paralyze me as well, so that I wouldn't have these tubes and everything come out, because once one of these tubes would have came out or anything would have went wrong, I would have been dead. So if you want to know more details about what happened to me, then look up ECMO. It's right here. It's right on Wikipedia. And when they told me, after I was able to comprehend and understand everything, when they told me everything that happened to me, literally I was shocked. And I was thinking like, it was a very depressing thing to hear, the fact that, I was that close to death. And one thing I've learned is that when you are that close to death, and when I finally came to, because they had me on, when I woke up, I was completely out of it. One of my friends came to see me, and they told me I just was staring into the corner, just completely just going and out of it. Essentially, my stay was supposed to be 6 months. But I've learned in the hospital you have to be proactive, and you can't just wait for the doctors to do anything for you. So first I started slowly being able to wiggle my toes, and then I started, being able, as days went on, I started being able to move my ankle and everything like that. I had every single possible test you can have under the sun in the hospital. Every single test. I can't put into words all the things that they've done to me with all the tubes and everything. I'm going to show you something here, and I don't want to scare you guys. This thing right here, I have to walk around with for 4 more weeks. But overall, essentially, I'm healthy. They put me on this medication that I should have been on years ago. And what this medication does is, not this, a medication that I have is, it builds my lungs up to battle the upcoming spring and summer pollen and, irritants and things like that. So right now, Even though my legs are not working at 100%, my legs are about 70%. Even though my legs are not working at 100%, um, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in life. My immune system is very healthy. So, as I was saying, I don't want this to be a long video. And also, there's a lot to be done. We have to clean ourselves up, get this hair cut off because they cut my beard down on one. My beard is uneven. On one side it's cut down, and on one side is big as shit. So, I do have a new outlook on life. I'm like mentally, there is some damage because I am having some nightmares, and there is some times, where I do have the uncontrollable cries. But they told me that just was natural because they said basically, I've been through so much in just such a short period of time. Now, people are going to look at me right now and say, oh, yeah, this guy's fine. Like I said, you have no idea what I've been through over the last, what it's been, about 38 days or so. You have no idea. Imagine one day you're waking up and you can't move. You have all these tubes. You're laying in your own shit. You're laying in your own piss. You have like blood streaming out the side of your mouth. Your beard has all these different chunks of blood clots and everything in it. Your eyes are so dry you can barely see. You can't talk. At one point, like it was a point. I put it this way: I didn't learn how to talk again, or I couldn't be. I didn't learn how to really talk again until maybe about 2 weeks ago. I don't remember the exact date. But one thing for sure is it has changed my complete outlook on life. And I really realized how much, I always knew I loved boxing, but I really realized how much I love the sport of boxing. And how much, and how much it meant like to my life. So we're going to ease ourselves back into things. I'm doing this video today. I may do one more tonight. Tomorrow we're going to do 2 videos, and then we're going to ease back in. Friday I may do 2. Saturday I may do 3. It depends, and they're not going to be long videos likely. And then Sunday I'll take off, and then next week we're going to slowly ease our way back into things. But right now we have a lot of spring cleaning to do. I have a parade of people that are all getting ready to come over, especially after they get off work and everything. And I get to see my daughter this week. That whole thing is over, and pretty much like right now I'm home. It feels really, really good to be back in my own environment. But one thing I've noticed is that I didn't have before I got sick is I have no more stress. My stress is over. I get to really, really live like my life again and put my all into boxing because the website is built. We have our clothing line coming out. Thank you to Mikey who took care of bringing on new team members. Thank you to Too Tough. Thank you to Tony. Thank you to Don Juan Banks. We squashed our beef. And the crazy thing is, I knew it was at one point in time in my coma dream. I'm sitting in like this office building, and these people are talking to me about Don and saying, I'm really glad that you and Don handled your differences while I was in a coma. And then when I woke up, my mom had told me he was up there. Listen, a coma is a very trippy fucking experience because, like I said, things that are going on around you, but your mind puts you in a different place, if that makes sense. Because your eyes are closed. And it didn't feel like I was in a coma that long. But also there was the dark side of the coma to where it felt so real that I had to fight 3 times, and 3 times I had to fight to stay alive. And there was another time where I was sitting in like this room, kind of like a prison, I guess, with all these other people, and it was like this fucking Mexican standoff where it was all these guns pointed at all these different people, and one guy was like, he was maybe about 3 feet away, but he had his like gun turned toward me. So I remember putting my head down like, fuck, I'm gonna die in here. But I thought it was really, really real. I can't put into words. I know I keep saying the same thing over and over. I keep looking at the cameras, waiting for my food to get here. I can't put into words like how trippy it was. That was at one point in time. I'm laying in a hospital bed, and there's maybe, and I should have known better in my dream that something wasn't right, but it felt so real because it was a room, but it was like all these different other hospital patients. Like, and it's never more than 2 people in a room in a hospital, and they was all asleep. So I had this one arm around my neck while somebody was climbing up my legs with a scalpel. So I kept headbutting the dude, like right in his mouth. The one that had the arm around my neck kept headbutting me. And then finally a nurse came in, and then it seems like I transported to another dream. It was, I don't want to talk about it because it is kind of depressing. And like I said, I have been having nightmares about it. And also, I've been having some issues differentiating from reality because it feels like even though like I feel like I'm not dreaming, still I still get times where I think like, am I dreaming? Am I alive? It gets really, really trippy. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to. You can tell, I mean, you should know it was very scary for my for my mother and for my family, especially when they see me in that coma. And then those doctors were telling her, he might not make it, and this is a procedure that people may not come out, to be the same and everything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead right now and just relax. Get ready to see my daughter. I'm going to eat. Wait for some friends to come over, do a little bit of spring cleaning, and work on my legs. I got to order some leg weights because they said there's some exercises I have to do to get my legs strong. So even though my body is 100%, well, except I still have a. Well, I'm not gonna take my hoodie off. I still have a hole in my neck that's healing. The hole was from a trach is where they have a breathing thing down in your throat, but I'm just really, really blessed to be here. So, even though I'm sounding all, good and everything like that, there's still like been a lot of mental damage that's been done. So I'm Tstreet Controversy. This is Tstreet Controversy Live. You will be seeing me tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch Wilder versus Ortiz, Groves versus Eubank, and those are going to be the next two videos I'm going to do unboxing.